Hi guys, Matt the Who Editor here. Welcome back to another edition to my class reviews. Tonight it's Night Visiting. This is a really hard episode to talk about because when I first watched it, I didn't know whether to like or dislike it. If you see my tweet, you might think that this is one of my favorite episodes of the series. I'm not sure what to think about this episode now. Well, let's take a look back. First off, I'm gonna say it. I do love the first 3 minutes. They've definitely learned from Pixar's Up. It features the life of Tanya's parents, how they met up, and how they brought up Tanya. Yeah, we kind of see it in Doctor Who with Clara, but as much as the episode was interesting, I didn't think her backstory was needed in the episode. But this episode has done it better. Nothing but short visuals, little to no dialogue except a soundtrack playing over the clips, and each clip knows what to say with its visuals. It knows when to show the parents meeting each other, it knows when to show the marriage, it knows when to show the birth, and it knows when to show Tanya's life. It even knows when to show the passing of Tanya's dad. And even though I knew where it was going, I still loved it and I cried. That is really good. Even when it's the present day, they still keep the song playing and it works. Seeing is believing. They also ended the song with the ending minutes of the episode with Tanya talking with her mother about how they first met, and it ends with Tanya looking at the photo of her father. That's perfect editing. The makers of this episode clearly knew what they wanted to show with these scenes about remembrance and grief. But then this happens, kind of predictable, but still intensive. Tanya's father appears before her eyes. What she doesn't know is that London is infiltrated by a powerful planet alien known as the Land King. Wait, is Audrey 2 in this episode? Feed me, Seymour! Nah. Apparently it's these alien plants which seem to have a habit of revealing dead bodies before your very eyes. That's pretty grim. Aside from that, it's an interesting concept. Dead bodies attached to alien plants. That's actually interesting. So this alien species tries to take its victims with its love. Kind of reminds me of something. I don't know. They keep the bodies tied up, which kind of reminds me of the Crinoids or the old Orton, the Nestine consciousness. The classic look one. When they take a person's soul, it's like the absorber love when it sucks in a soul. It does the usual, oh, it tastes like chicken, or no, it's not as bitter as the last one quotes. Yeah, we get it. Human flesh, tasty. Moving on. This concept has the potential to give off the backstory truths of some lost souls the main characters have encountered. Tanya with her father, Ram with Rachel, and strangely enough Quill with some random female person she knows her who is played by someone who clearly cannot act. Or maybe she can, I don't know, but it was pretty boring. Yeah, there is this one character they didn't tempt, and that's Charlie. Which, yeah, I guess I kind of understand why, because he's an alien and he barely found out exactly what they look like, so I guess that works. I mean, he does mention it's his parents, but it's not a clear vision. But seriously, there's really only one shot of which features the fires arriving at Charlie's house, and nothing happens. I don't think it was even brought up. No, seriously, no, there's no mention of why they didn't tempt him or why he didn't show a perfect body. No, they just completely forgot about it. They didn't question it. Only one question: if it didn't work on Charlie, then why didn't it work on Martise? He's human. Why didn't they do it to him? Maybe he hasn't lost anyone. I don't know, and I don't think we're gonna find out either. What I did like about this episode is the scenes with Tanya and her father. Even though it's pretty obvious it's an alien using her father to take her over, but there were some moments in which I actually thought that he was the real person, and that we were going to go for an emotional impact. When he talks about their past, calling her Puddle, for example, which also helped. And it's nice to see Tanya try to prove that it's not him with all these theories like mind reading, etc. That pretty much shows that she's done her research on these sort of alien things. But there are moments in which she wants to believe it, but she knows it's not him. There's this one moment in which she mentions how could something so good ever last, and it didn't. Which is pretty much what we can relate to, whether it's with family or everyday life. And even though her dad literally tries to take her over, it still made me tear up a little bit. Obviously, there is a scene in the climax in which Tanya fights her father, and it is so cool. This episode also has a theme of green, especially with its lighting. But what I don't understand is Tanya weakens the Land King by giving him her anger instead of her love. I think this was supposed to be an emotional structured story, and it would have made more sense. But to me, it doesn't. It's the ending to closing time all over again, in which Craig defeats the Cyberman with love because he heard his baby cry. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. We also get some quick truths about Quill's past when she talks to the dead lady. Apparently, she's her sister, which would have been good if we were brought back to it in the series, but it's never mentioned again. She's basically given all these plot points, clues, secrets to Quill's life, which, yeah, pretty cliche. Or as Quill's put it, what a drama queen. But I did like that moment in which her sister holds a gun, and you can see it in Quill's eyes. She wants that gun. She knows something is wrong. That's a pretty good scene. And when she fights back, it's literally painful. She's standing on her hand. She orders Charlie to get a knife. No, make it two. She's going all bad cop, good cop to her sister. And she drives a bus into the vines. Can this woman ever surprise me any further? But I did like that one shot of Quill's reaction to just seeing the kids together. You can just look at her and understand her character in this episode. You know, that pretty much proves she has got like a sort of cold heart because, you know, she's a slave and all that, yeah. But you can obviously tell she's starting to warm up to these kids, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be her overall story arc in the series. That's good. Ram is definitely becoming all scaredy cat in this episode. Well, not fully scaredy cat, but he is terrified. He's seen his dead girlfriend crying out to him from the window. He's running in the streets. He's phoning April and the others, dodging fires. He's getting fit in this episode. We are also introduced to Matisse, who was last seen in the first episode, who mysteriously was absent in the last one. This boy would soon become to be one of the best characters in the series. He has a majority of scenes with Charlie in bed. However, I'm sorry, I did not find that interesting. I've got nothing against homosexuality. I'm okay with it, but I rarely found any of these scenes interesting. But then there's this one stupid subplot in this episode that I really don't like. And it happens to April. She's literally changing character from this episode onwards. She's becoming sensitive, she's complaining, she's trying to be melodramatic. That's okay because that's the point of this episode. But then she has this scene with Ram at the bus stop. And, you know, she's talking about her dad, which is a good scene. She's that character from the first episode, but I can see she's literally changing in this episode. If that's Patrick Ness's idea for April, then mission accomplished. I think it would have been good if it didn't have any music playing. I couldn't barely anything she is saying with that music. But then there's this one bit which I just froze, but then thought, okay, this might be good. April kisses Ram. Where did that come from? Maybe it's just me, but it kind of felt out of place. It's on that's a complete definition of forced. But I won't go into more detail with the whole April and Ram relationship. I'll just save it for the rest of the series. And that's when it becomes a problem. This episode is basically trying to be this horror thriller jump scared story. And some moments scared me, but most of it didn't. The only thing that did scare me or made me jump a little bit was when Tanya's father blinks and then there's this strange noise that appears when he blinks. That made me jump. That is pretty terrifying. But then there are some moments when it gets quite quiet and it literally causes me to shake. Seriously, it causes me to shake, yeah. Especially with her father still holding his hands out. That is still terrifying, no matter how many times he's like going, come on, come closer. Please, give your daddy a hug. It's still creepy the way he holds his hands. There's a shot in the streets where someone is being taken over, which is obviously done in stop motion. Whilst quick and cool, still pretty lame. There's a forced-in title reference with April's musical notes. Ha 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 ha, very funny. That's funny because that's the name of the title. Yeah. Right, so in conclusion, Nightvisiting does show some potential moments with its emotional structure with the opening and ending minutes, but it doesn't seem to choose whether to be an emotional drama, a thriller, or an action mystery story. The storyline, I have to admit, is pretty dull. We've seen it before. There are a few small moments in which stand out. The characters, whilst kind of underused, are just being put in because it's their series, but they do have their moments. The villain is slightly weaker than the coach, but does have an interesting concept. The music choices do have their cool and dramatic moments when it fits into the mood and atmosphere of the episode. I'm not really sure how to continue with this episode. This is probably the episode in which I may have to change my result. But then after watching a review by Epic Who of this episode, I fully understood what it's about. What the episode was supposed to focus on. The subject of grief. And I fully understood. It's about losing a family member, having to live in grief, to try and be sensitive, not be accepted, but also to prove that it is okay to be yourself. And that made me realize why it was good, emotionally good, not interestingly good, but emotionally good. So I guess the score stays. Good subject, good character moments. It's just the plot has a few problems. So therefore, I'm giving this episode 7 out of 10. Okay, before I go, I'd just like to point out I'm going to be taking a week off break from these reviews because, well, next week it's Christmas and it's probably best just to have a good Christmas time with your family because that's pretty much what Christmas is. It's about making the effort to be with your family, with your friends, people you care about, and just have a lovely time. Be sure to keep a lookout the week after when I do the next review of Class, which is when I'm going to be very, very angry because this is the episode that really burns my head, sort of thing. But be sure to keep a lookout for next week's FA Christmas special, The Lucky Ticket, which might probably be released on Christmas Eve, if not Boxing Day. Be sure to leave a comment below, like and share this video, and if you've seen the episode, what did you think about it? And if you'd like to see more of my videos, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Merry Christmas.